Hello, I'm the Greek Geek because I'm 50% Greek and 100% a geek. I remember 20 years ago going to watch this movie and thinking, oh boy, a superhero movie. This is sure to be a good time and a lot of fun, which it was. But then the movie opens in 1944 Poland. I'm just like, oh, this is what we're going to go for. More and more mutants are beginning to appear, and the US government is obviously very scared and want to try and control the situation. Meanwhile, two factions of mutants battle each other, the Brotherhood of Mutants and the X-Men, one fighting for domination over humanity, and one fighting to coexist peacefully with humanity. So we have an absolutely huge cast, and I'm not going to get into too much detail with everyone, but I really want to say that I think everyone did a really good job. Like, Patrick Stewart, Ian McKellen as Magneto, and Professor Xavier, they did a really good job and really captured the look and feel of the comic book characters. And Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, like there's no one else that can be Wolverine. He's been Wolverine for well over 17 years now, and there's no one else for the role, and he has made his career based on this role. And with the X-Men as well, you've got Halle Berry, who plays Storm, James Marsden, who plays Cyclops, and also Famke Janssen as Jean Grey. All of these actors did a good job of capturing their comic book counterparts, I felt. At this point, these were the only people that I'd seen as a live-action version of the X-Men, and I thought they all did a pretty good job, except for maybe Halle Berry. Like, her accent throughout the movies has been a bit inconsistent, but other than that, okay. And everyone who was in the Brotherhood of Mutants as well, who played Toad, Sabretooth, Mystique. So all the actors that did that were Ray Park, Rebecca Romijn Stamos, and Tyler Mane. And also Anna Paquin was okay as well, even though I thought her performance was just a little bit bland. The X-Men movies have a not so subtle theme of, they're quite diverse in how you can compare the mutants to any kind of suppressed minority anywhere. So it keeps it relevant because even in modern times, because there's always people that are being repressed and minorities everywhere, so it stays relevant. I like how the two factions of mutants going about their ideals in different ways, like the Brotherhood of Mutants, who seeks to dominate over mankind. They're more violent and take way more extreme strategies. And the X-Men more likely to try diplomacy and try and negotiate with people and not kill them. So, this being the first movie in a franchise, it has to introduce so much into the world and build the world from the ground up. And I was actually surprised with how little amount of exposition dumps there were. There's no awkward bits of dialogue. There's a bit, but most of everything that we learn is through Wolverine, who doesn't really know that much about the school and what's happening with the Brotherhood of Mutants, and Rogue as well, who's just starting to find out about all this and her mutant powers. So they're good vessels for the audience to learn about this world. And there's a lot to cover too. Like, we've got the history of mutants and what their role is in this world, the two different factions of mutants, Cerebro, the school, and just so much, and this movie explains it all very well. Upon rewatching this, I realized that, like, the fight choreography wasn't that great, or even that really complicated, except for the Wolverine versus Mystique fight, and anything that Ray Park does, because he is a phenomenal martial artist. So the fight scenes weren't really that great, just people kind of punching a couple of times and throwing people around, nothing too complicated, but it did do a really good job of showing the power of mutants, like that opening scene with Magneto, how he almost pulls the fences apart, Cyclops using his laser beams, Magneto just destroying everything, using metal in lots of cool ways, throwing around police cars and using guns, and it's just really, really good. And just seeing what these mutants are capable of, you can understand why people would be afraid of them and the destructive power that they have. The music for this movie was composed by Michael Kamen. May he rest in peace. This guy has done a phenomenal amount of scores for so many movies. Like, seriously, look him up and look at his filmography. He has done so many movies, and there are so many scores out there that you would enjoy. And some of the scores that I really liked in this movie was the opening theme. That is quite iconic for me and is a really good theme, as well as Mystique's theme. Like, it just really catches the sexy, mysterious nature of her. And I'll leave links for those in the description down below so you could listen to them yourself. They are really good. So this movie did come out 20 years ago, and some of the special effects didn't really age that well. Like, for example, that flip that Wolverine does when Sabretooth throws him on the Statue of Liberty, and he like throws it and he gets hooked on the crown or whatever she's wearing and just like flips around. That's mostly done through CGI. It doesn't really look that good. I remember it looking much better when I watched it for the first time, but hasn't really aged that well, along with some other special effects. And there are some special effects that are done really well, like for example when Senator Kelly gets turned all rubbery and stuff, the effects for that look really good and I thought looked very convincing for the most part. And Wolverine's claws look really good as well. I like the attention to detail. When they actually do come out of his knuckles, you can see the skin opening and them coming out, and when they go back in, you can see them heal back up again. Those attentions to detail I really liked. Fantastic example of an early comic book movie done right. So in the 2000s, that's when kind of comic book movies were in an awkward phase of some just being great, some being really bad. So I'm happy to say that this one's good, and it really is a fantastic superhero movie, so go watch it, I guess. And as always, thank you for listening to me ramble on about a movie for a few minutes. I really do appreciate it. Thank you again, and I'll catch you next time.